And then we get greedy next turn, right? Because he can only block with Field Artisan, and he has to block with Field Artisan, or else it would be lethal. Well, I guess either way it was lethal. How did that happen? What is up, guys? Today I've got a really exciting deck to show for you. I chose that as the opening scene mainly because I was having one of those days where I just forgot that apparently if you have a creature with both Death Touch and Trample, it only assigns 1 point of damage to the creature that it's hitting, and the rest of the damage going straight to face, which I had lethal. That was kind of a funny moment on stream to kind of showcase not only that, but just the sheer power of this deck. The fact that you can give Questing Beast a lot of counters, you can give it Trample, you could just, there's a lot of options here, as well as to handle most of the metagame. I did actually, this is not my original brew. I saw the similar list to this on the Channel Fireball tournament the other day, and I was like, wow, I really want to play that. And then I gave it a whirl. I pretty much went undefeated that whole stream in best of 3, so it was a lot of fun. So going a little bit into like the mechanics of this deck, you open up with Pelt Collector. Excuse me. Okay, there we go. We open up with Pelt Collector right here, where it's a turn 1 play. If you don't draw into a Pelt Collector and you have a Stonecoil Serpent, I actually like Stonecoil as a turn 1 play as well. A lot of newer players are going to just try and sit on Stonecoil as long as possible and then get them out as big as possible. However, with the current metagame right now, running a lot of multicolored creatures, a 1/1 Stonecoil Serpent goes an extremely long way by being able to just block most of that stuff unless it has Trample, as well as being able to start plugging in early damage too, especially if you're going up against like the tempo where they have the Night Bonders out, etc, etc. If you have both in hand, you drop a turn 1 Pelt Collector into a turn 2 Stonecoil Serpent, which is going to then buff Pelt Collector. You swing for 2. Another turn 2 play is Barkhide Troll, comes out as a 3/3. It's also going to buff our Pelt Collector. You've also got a turn 2 play with Paradise Druid, which actually puts things like Questing Beast online turn 3, or even a Vivien's Arkbow turn 3. And if you have no other creatures other than Paradise Druid, then what is wrong with having a 4/3 with Hexproof on the board turn 3 from a Vivien's Arkbow play? I see no issues there. Yorvo, extremely powerful. Pretty much any creature you cast is going to give him some counters, and that actually synergizes really well with Wildborn Preserver, especially if you are looking to propose a trade and then you've sneakily got a Preserver in hand. You quickly buff up Yorvo, and then have him survive that particular matchup. Without further ado, I mean, all we really have left is just the sideboard. It's super easy, super simple deck to comprehend here. Something I did forget, I do apologize, is our main board Gemrazers. Current metagame, we're seeing a lot of fires, we're seeing a lot of cat ovens, we're seeing a lot of Embercleaves, etc, etc. This creature right here gives you the opportunity to handle any of the current metagame decks. Whenever this creature mutates, that includes when it mutates onto another creature, which I'm pretty sure all of our creatures, none of them are human, so that it works well with whatever we have on the board. Destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. So if you see that cat oven out, you can drop Gemrazer. You mutate it onto something, you can get rid of it. You see fires come out turn 4, you go ahead and drop Gemrazer as a mutate, destroy his fires. Like it's just so versatile. And then you know what? Worst case scenario, you've also got a 4/4 you can also drop on the board if you need some hitters. In the sideboard, obviously, it's shifting Ceratops, especially with the control matchups. Extra Vivien, Sorcerer's Spyglass, as well as Grafdigger's Cage to kind of help with those ovens, those Lurrus matchups, etc, etc. Ramthroughs for a little bit more spot removal. Yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into a matchup we had yesterday on stream. Make sure you guys follow over at twitch.tv/US Army Esports for some live matchups. You're more than welcome to get games in with me. I love playing with viewers. All right, so opening hand, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it's something we could work with. I like a turn 1 Stonecoil Serpent. We are on the draw, so we could potentially get something that gives us more of a turn 2, turn 3 play, but I think I'm a little bit okay with this. And it looks like we are initially looking at it at an Orzhov deck, which is a lot of multicolored creatures, which makes Stone Serpent Coil a pretty strong play here. We're gonna go ahead and allow him to play his Mire Triton. We do see that green in there as well, so now our mindset is changing just a little bit. With those particular colors, that's still a lot of multicolored creatures that are going to be on the battlefield that we necessarily aren't too worried about. Okay, so we do pull into a Gemrazer. We've got a Vivien's Arkbow Ranger. We have our Great Henge and a Questing Beast. At the moment, I'm just kind of looking at the board state like, okay, we didn't get a good opening curve, but maybe we can get out of this. We're going to go ahead and jam Mr. Questerson. He can't block Mr. Questerson right now because he can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. So, and then he also has vigilance, so there's no reason to not swing in this particular matchup or particular situation. He gets Cheville out. Once again, Stonecoil Serpent, able to block 2 out of 3 of these creatures with no problem. So he's going to go ahead and swing with the 2/1 Death Touch. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, do I want to trade my Stonecoil? And then I'm like, no, we're keeping those other creatures offline. So we do get a Yorvo. At the current present time, I'm torn between a Vivien play, which is going to buff our creatures up with counters. I'm also looking at a Great Henge play, which is going to set us up for the long game, allowing our creatures to come out with extra counters on them, as well as give us card draw, as well as getting us life. So kind of pushing out. We do have the advantage right now. He did miss a couple land drops that I'm not too worried about now at this point. So we go ahead and press in with another Questerson. Okay, so he's going to put a counter on my Questing Beast. So right now I'm kind of looking at the board state. I think I like the idea of a Vivien play. Obviously, depending on what he gets out. He's going to go ahead and kill my Mr. Questerson here. So all we can really do is just tap our Great Henge for some life, I guess, at this point. All right, looking at the board state right now, there's really nothing he can do. He's gonna hit me for 2, and I'll go ahead and gain 2. I think I'm liking a Yorvo play, especially since we can't really keep Vivien safe at the moment. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop that. We do have Great Henge on the battlefield, so hopefully we can maybe flood at that point with creatures, as we're gonna be able to draw from Henge. Nope, we're gonna go ahead and draw another land. Oh man, all of our lands this game, but it's okay. At least he's only down to 3 at the moment. I like the Vivien play because that's also going to force him to swing out if he does try and take her out. We could also just -3 her and take out the Cheville, which is what I'm kind of looking at right now. I'm like, is he important enough to really worry about that? Or do I like the idea of Stone Serpent Coil getting 2 counters on it and then being able to take out anything on the battlefield right now? I also kind of like the idea of killing Mire Triton, because then it stops the 2 points of damage coming out at me. I messed up. I meant to click on Yorvo. I think we go ahead and just take out the Chevelle here. Not only is he getting the draw ability there, but also the fact that he does in fact have Death Touch, so it kind of turns Yorvo offline a bit. I think I should have done Mire Triton though over Chevelle, just because Chevelle is held up by Stonecoil Serpent anyway, and Field Artisan can be taken care of by Yorvo. So we do see a Varashka coming out. It's gonna take out my Yorvo, probably kill my my poor Vivien. But now we're at a part of the board state where, you know, we go to our turn, we play out Gemrazer, we're susceptible to the wipe. At that point, we could see like a Kaya's Wrath online or something like that. But with our Great Henge on the board, maybe, and there's another mana. Oh, manas. We're kind of just hoping to be able to flood into a large batch of creatures in our library. So we do draw into one, which is making me happy. We draw into, oh, mana. Almost. These forests, man. All right, so I think this is an opportunity just to obviously just +1/+1 counters. I'm torn because I think Pelt Collector can get him naturally as well. So I don't think I'm terribly worried about that in particular. I think I wanted just a really big Stompy boy that has trample to start flexing, especially with a field artisan on board. We can just trample over him, take him out. All right, so at the moment, we're not super worried about Vivien. It's kind of what we draw into this next turn. 7, 8, 9. We're presenting 9 points of damage if he were to not block. It's not quite lethal yet, so we're gonna start kind of game planning a little bit for a little bit more of a 2-turn play maybe. I'm kind of hoping for a Mr. Questerson here. Okay, so Othakaya is gonna clear our Pelt Collector, or you know, I'll just take Vivien. Sure. And we're gonna draw into a land. Sure. We are gonna go ahead and swing at Varashka here. We don't get any kind of punishment from it outside of the point of damage, which we're good on. We just get back with Great Henge. Then we're gonna pass turn. I didn't want Varashka to -3 and get my Pelt Collector. Especially if we do draw into a batch of creatures, Pelt Collector can get pretty big, and then we can, you know, then we can swing for some damage. Especially if we go into another Vivien, give it trample. All right, so Call the Death Dweller is gonna bring out Chevelle again. We're just gonna tap for some life. Come on, mana, or excuse me, creatures. All right, so we got a Pelt Collector. It's going to give us another draw opportunity. Oh. I think if I remember correctly, I only run like 2 hinges in the main board. Just kind of looking at it. I mean, I'm okay with a Gemrazer just plugging in at this point. We could foresee, I mean, even with a joint block, I guess we're going to pass turn. We're going to play it safe. I guess it wouldn't be the wisest decision to plug with Gemrazer while we have a Death Touch on the board. At least until we can apply a little bit more pressure and stabilize. So as you can see, he did get his mana back. Reveal top 4 cards of your library. Put a creature card and or a land card from among them in your hand. The rest of into your graveyard. Sure. So he's going to get back a Mire Triton and a Castle Garenbrig. Sure. Gonna get Fiend Artisan back to a 4/4. Almost seems like a little bit of a stalemate, but I would also say a little bit more so in our favor. I think Henge is stronger than Kaya at the moment. Sure, why wouldn't we draw into another land? We're gonna pass turn. We're gonna keep letting him get these opportunities to come back. I mean, he's got a Castle Garenbrig. I guess we could trade 2 life for 2 life. We take 2, gain 2. Sure. I'm just sitting here like, please let me get some creatures. And that's not a testament to the deck list at all by any means. Sometimes you get those games where you just hit a pocket of lands, and then actually it could be a positive testament to the list too, because we've also held our own during this whole matchup, despite going 4 turns, give or take. We just land draws and a Great Henge draw when we already have one resolved. All right, so Yorvo, maybe Yorvo will get us back in the game here. All right, we're gonna resolve Yorvo. It's gonna buff a bunch of things and a bunch of stuff. We get another creature. Come on, keep the steamroll going. Paradise Druid, sure. Into a Vivien. Vivien's okay. I'm okay with that. Obviously, more creatures is good, but I'm okay with the Vivien play. We could also just kill as Mr. Questerson here. Vivien is just so good. I'm gonna go Gemrazer on Mr. Questerson. Boom. And I think I'm okay with flexing now. I mean, I should attack with Gemrazer here. I don't remember if I do, but I think I should because I'm okay with Chevelle taking him. Or you know what, 2 Pelt Collectors. Actually, that's even sure. That's probably the better play there. Because Gemrazer, he gets in for 4 points. Pelt Collectors would be 6. I mean, I guess I could have done all 3. We lose Gemrazer, but I think that's the route I was trying to go. I think I should have done Gemrazer as well as the 2 Pelt Collectors. So we lose both to the Wrath. Something we were kind of talking about that we were probably going to see. I'm liking the idea of pulling into another Vivien. Not this Vivien, but the other Vivien, so we can get 3/3 beasts out. Although, to be honest, I'm also just really okay with any kind of creature I can get. All right, so here we go. Getting another Yorvo. Sure. Into a Mr. Questerson. Sure. He's like, nice. Into a Pelt Collector. Let's see if we can keep this train going. Come. And it's going to keep buffing Yorvo. So Yorvo is a really strong play there. And then we get the other Vivien like we were wanting, which is actually going to let us look at the top of our library. So it's kind of like 2 opportunities. We get a land. Okay. All right. So I think I like Vivien's with... I think I like them with Trample here. I like the concept of Vigilance with the type of creatures he's playing. But I think I like I think I like Trample a little bit better. However, I'm also thinking about the idea of the other Vivien being able to give stuff Trample. However, I don't know if those 3/3s would be the priority for the other Vivien anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and put both counters on Mr. Questerson since he does have haste and he's going to be the one doing damage this turn. And then next turn we could space out the counters if we want to. A little bit more versatility there. So we get to Zoni out. He's going to see a lot of bugs. Now, initially looking at it, this looks intimidating, but nothing on the board can block Mr. Questerson right now. And we do have a Vivien online. So it's not terrible for us. We're like, okay, sure. We have lethal. We're presenting lethal at the moment. So here's the trickery here, right? At the time, you're going to see me think about this for a little bit because we still present lethal. We still have lethal. I was just brain farting here. I was like, what? Because I ended up taking the victory by +2ing Mr. Questerson and plugging for damage. Didn't realize that Death Touch and Trample only assign 1 point of damage to the creature. The whole rest of it go to face. So a +1 on Vivien gives 2 counters on Mr. Questerson, puts him at a 9/9. That 1 point of damage assigning to Fiend Artisan, which is the only creature that can actually block Mr. Questerson here. And the other 8 points of damage going straight to face. So right now I'm kind of thinking about like putting it on both of these creatures and being like, we can plug in, they'll both get trample, clear the board state. Not realizing that what I should be doing, which I end up doing, it's just it takes me a second because I didn't see it super fast. I'm like, okay, so I can always just +1 questing beast because I do know that nothing else can block Mr. Questerson. So that I'm tracking, I'm aware of. I'm like, so if I put 2 counters on Mr. Questerson, he's gonna live. He takes 1 point of damage, and then we have no threat for the next turn, unless he draws into a Wrath. So then we go ahead and swing with Mr. Questerson. Boom, boom, lethal. That's when I'm like, what? Sure, I'm all about winning. Don't get me wrong, but sure. All right, so going into game 2, looking at that particular matchup, I don't think I really care for Shifting Ceratops. I do kind of look at Ram Through a little bit for the spot removal. However, I feel like we weren't really scared of creatures that he had out. So I don't know if Ram Through is really like a need, especially since we do main Vivien's. I like Grafdigger's Cage here. We don't play out of our graveyard, but he does quite a bit, in fact. So Grafdigger's on a turn 1 feels like it's pretty strong. As well as a Sorcerer's Spyglass to kind of turn off some of those activated abilities I went ahead and put in there, as well as the ability to look at his hand. and see what he's got. Outside of that, there wasn't a whole lot of trimming really needed at the sideboard for this particular matchup. If we were going up against like a control deck or a fires or something like that, then obviously we could be going like shifting Ceratops or Sorcerer's Spyglass for those Walker plays, etc., etc. I think Sorcerer's Glass really kind of helps with Varashka, since we do run a lot of like 3-drop and below creatures that do get big really fast. That's my Twitch chat. I don't remember why I brought that up on screen. Make sure you guys get some games in with us. I try and highlight if we play a new deck and we have like a really good matchup, then that's where this video comes in. This is one of the viewers that we're playing against, his list. All right, so we're on the draw here. I'm okay with this. Sure. I'm a little bit torn between a Stonecoil or a Grafdigger play one, but I think it makes a lot more sense to do a Stonecoil turn one, because we're not like worried about him playing out of his graveyard within the next 4 turns. So I think I like a Stonecoil into a Preserver into a Yorvo. I'm also a little bit tempted to go Stonecoil into a Grafdigger turn 2 instead of Preserver, so that way I can turn 3 Yorvo and turn 4 Preserver and have a little bit more options there. I guess I go ahead and just flex a little bit with the Gravediggers. Either that, or I could also be looking like a turn 2 Serpent as a 2-drop and do a turn 3 Yorvo. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna flash in Preserver. I don't know what I'm thinking game 2 here. I'm missing a bunch of plays that I should probably be doing. Sure. Go ahead and flash in Preserver here so we can start punching 2. We go into a Trollhide. I think I like Yorvo first, because then he can get beefy from Trollhide, and then we swing for 7. We don't have any residual mana to buff up Preserver here. We're gonna go ahead and swing. Another interesting play is we can also Stonecoil Serpent if he doesn't get like a solid creature out, and then buff Preserver. So like we could 1 mana cost Stonecoil, and then 3 counters on Preserver, making him a 5/5, and then which would also buff Yorvo into a 5/5, so presenting 10 points of damage on the battlefield. So that's also an option here. Although I also kind of like Barkhide Troll. Sure. Another Mythos. Get our next mana out. I'm a little bit torn. Contemplating the one play Stonecoil. I also really like the idea of Barkhide Troll here. And then I can plug for 2 points onto Preserver, so then I can deal 4 points of damage immediately, while the board state is empty on his side of the battlefield. Next turn, we can drop our mana. I think I end up doing a Stonecoil next turn. Okay, so we do lose our Preserver. Sure, with the mana flood again. I'm kind of thinking about getting a really beefy Stonecoil out. We saw 2 points of Mythos removal, so getting a really beefy boy on the battlefield feels like it'd be kind of nice. Or go Barkhide, sure. So 9. I could also do Stonecoil Serpent here, which I once again think I should have done, because then I would have presented lethal for my next turn. Now we're gonna be delayed a turn behind. What is going on with this matchup today? I think I'm supposed to play out Stonecoil for big boy damage. Don't think about that Henge. Don't. Sure. So game 2 is a matchup of what not to do. I want to put that out there. And that should be okay. So Wrath, sure. I guess I'm rewarded then, because if I'd done Stonecoil Serpent, we've been extremely punished. So I guess I made the correct decision. I take it back with the things I said about me on game 2. Although, you know, I feel like Stonecoil was still the right move. All right, so Pelt Collector, this is going to allow us to dig for a Mr. Questerson. I don't think we got a Questerson this game yet, so I'm really hoping for it. And there's an opportunity with Great Henge on the board. That's what I was doing. I forgot about that. I put Great Henge on the board so that way I can one drop Stonecoil in hopes of a Mr. Questerson play. Sure. And then I think we play it out for 1 mana. So we can get a hasty boy out. I'm thinking about it though. I'm like, dude, I could also get him out really big. And then the odds of him top decking into another Wrath. And then I was punished here. I still think it was the right move to put Stonecoil out for 1. I do feel like it was the correct decision still. We have lethal. Oh, no, we don't. We're 1 point shy. So there's another opportunity where we're going to try and dig for a hasty boy. Because he blocks Paradise. We put out 4 points of damage. He's down to 1. So we need one of our Mr. Questersons to punch lethal. Once again, I think we're going to do 1 point here so we can draw again. Either way, it comes out as a 2-2. So it's not like a terrible waste. And then we pull into a mana. I think I'm comfortable with our board state either way. I mean, if he doesn't come into a Wrath, then we win. Even spot removal's not going to help him at this point because he's going to lose his Mire Triton. He has to take out Paradise Druid. And then both of our Pelt Collectors get bigger. And then we just pass turn. So this game 2 is going a little bit longer than it should have. I think we've seen some decent give and takes here. He goes into his Mr. Questerson. We go ahead and just eat this damage. There's no real... I think we're sitting fairly comfortable. Nothing in hand. Nothing to really worry about there. So we're just going to go ahead and gain 2. He puts his good game out. That's going to be game. We're going to swing in. And that's going to be all she wrote. GG fam. Was a great matchup. All right, so appreciate you guys for tuning in. I was just really excited to see a mono green Stompy go 5-0 in Channel Fireball tournament. I had to give it a whirl, and I am absolutely in love with it. I don't think I lost any best of 3 matchups during the U.S. Army Esports stream yesterday, day before yesterday. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys click that subscribe button, follow me on my socials. I'm on Twitter at Kevin Raisins. I'll have all the links down below. My personal Discord server, discord.gg/thekillsquad. If you're interested in the United States Army's esports program, we do have an MTG team, which I am a part of. Discord.gg/US Army Esports. I'm currently giving away a bunch of free booster packs during my esports streams. So just for getting a game in with me, I'm a free pack. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you have any suggestions for the deck, if there's a deck that you would like to see me make and play on my channel, by all means, post in the comments or send it to me in a DM on Discord. I'll see you again very soon.